Do you remember any tips and advice for any language?
Watching the movie, like I still watch the subtitles, but then at the same time, I also really hearing what they say, and then I will match that. Oh, that words is that words. Like sometimes I will notice that, and then learn a little bit like more like the daily talking phrase.
I remember when I first moved to Taiwan, I would watch HBO, and so it would have Chinese subtitles. And I was so happy because as I'm hearing it in English, I'm reading the new Chinese characters I just studied. I'm like, oh, I know that sentence. And then you start to be like, I would maybe say that a different way. Like maybe that's not a good translation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NG English Show. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Haoen.
嗨，大家好，欢迎回到 NG 英文，我是 Stephanie。今天的来宾是一位服装设计师、画家以及刺青师。那他刺青的方式也蛮特殊的，我们等等就来介绍。接下来就让我们来欢迎 Viola。
Today I am joined by the incredibly talented fashion designer, artist, and most importantly, tattoo artist, stick and poke style tattoo artist, Miss Viola. So everyone, please welcome Viola.
Hey.
What's up?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on the NG English Show. I was just remembering, we met through our good friend Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Justin has been on the show, and when you and I met, you were telling me how you've just kind of started 3 years now, right, of being a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I started by handpoke, but now I only do by machine.
Wow, so cool. And it speaks to my heart because we'll dive into all of this in a minute, but some of the most beautiful tattoos that I have are kind of this stick and poke style. It's not using a machine. It's just either a stick and the needle and ink, and it's very peaceful. It's very meditative to me.
Yeah, I find it really not scary, so that's how I get started to doing that. Like the first time I get the tattoo and it's done by stick and poke, and then I just feel like, oh, I can try it myself.
So cool. Yeah, like, oh wow, let me just tattoo myself. So cool. Well, Viola, do you mind giving our audience on NG Ingwen a little self-introduction? Who is the woman, the myth, the legend?
Well, hi, I'm Viola. Right now I'm doing tattoos. I'm from Taiwan.
Yes, I was hoping we could start today, Miss Viola, with how you really got yourself to becoming a tattoo artist, because it wasn't something you thought about doing in school, and you were living all over the world, but you started with art and sketching and drawing, but you were thinking of being a fashion designer mostly at that time, is that right?
I always know I'm more good at drawing illustrations. I never think about doing tattoo because I know my family wouldn't support that. But then I started doing it just for fun with friends, like just tattooing on my friend. And then I find that I really love this. And I also like meeting people and doing it. And I just feel like I'm gonna do it. Like it's my dream job, and I'm able to travel with the job. So yeah, that's what I love about I can be my own boss and then just traveling as well. So
yeah, it's so cool. And so you've lived now, I think you were saying in Italy. You were in Italy studying to be a fashion designer, is that right? So can you tell us why did you end up going to Italy for fashion design?
So I was in high school and I wanted to study fashion design. I already know that. But in Taiwan, I just feel it doesn't have that much option. So I'm looking the school abroad, and then I find the one in Italy I wanted to go. So then, yeah, for fashion, I would think of Italy is like classic fashion. Though now I'm more like Asia, maybe more like London or like Northern Europe, Scandinavia kind of fashion. But at the time, I didn't know that well. But then, so I just choose Italy is famous for fashion. I love fashion, but then I find become a fashion designer, it's not my dream job because it's kind of need to be a workaholic. And I see lots of really talented people. I know I'm good at drawing, but maybe not designing the clothes. So then I feel like I'm gonna try other things. But I'm really happy I learned it because I like pretty things.
Yeah, and it's so cool too because you think about being a fashion designer, like you said, you're good at drawing, but being a fashion designer is actually like sewing and cutting. You're like working with a ton of raw materials.
Yeah.
And you're drawing. So it's kind of like you were like, oh, I love drawing, but I don't want to like cut out the clothes and all that, right?
Yeah, just like all the sewing.
Just so much sewing, so much cutting, so much working with the material. And so you did 3 years in Italy. 3 years in Italy, and then you came back and you didn't go into fashion design here in Taiwan. You went into digital.
Yeah, I went to like magazine or boutiques. Just be graphic designers, and then to get in touch with more like graphic, like visual art. Yeah, because I travel a lot in Europe and I really love Berlin. So at the time, I just wanted to live there for a while. So I find myself an internship in Berlin, and it was like a startup magazine. And their next issue is about fashion. So that they got me in, so then I'm just helping them doing the research in fashion things. After Berlin, like kind of like I have to come back home. My sister's getting married, like family pressure. I have to come back home.
The family pressure, yes.
So then I just like find some jobs in Taipei and then do works, but then I still really want to go out. So then I just feel more fun like traveling and living in different, like it's not your comfort zone. So then I go for like working holiday in Australia.
Yeah, so you've been working all over really, trying to kind of just figure out your art journey. So you went to Australia, not yet to do tattooing still at this
Not
point.
yet.
Yeah, wow. So at this moment, is tattooing even in your mind?
No, myself get tattoo. Like when I'm in
Right.
Italy, I get tattoo, but I never had the thought like become a tattoo artist. Doing hospitality jobs.
Just like me, we've done so many different jobs. Yeah, and so you're just using work at this time to travel, is that right?
I think at that time I learned more English because it's the English speaking. So like I kind of like that's the time I really improved my English.
We'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, because I was curious. Italy and Germany, Australia. What languages are you using? So let's touch on that in a second. But I'm so curious hearing how you then got to tattoos. Okay, so you're in Australia, and what happens?
I had a really fun year.
Okay, but we're trying to give some. Okay, what happened in Australia?
I think it's kind of my gap year because I don't know what to do. So I just like had a fun year.
So you're still on the journey of discovering yourself. You're still trying to figure out what's best, and you're just taking that time to keep traveling, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you come back to Taiwan after Australia?
Yeah. And then I still really want to live in Berlin, but I didn't get a visa. I tried like twice. Yeah, I feel like for Germany, like you need to be good at planning. Like you need to write good plan, but I'm not good at it, so I didn't get a visa. I guess that's
you
the
have to like
problem.
prove why you're going to those places?
Well, yeah, like if you go for working holiday, you have to write like a year plan, and I'm never good at planning for a whole year.
Me too.
So probably that's why I didn't get it, and then I end up in Austria because at the time I was also learning German, so they speak German as well.
Wow. And so all of this incredible language, again, we'll come back to in a minute, but I'm just loving this little timeline of your life. Okay, so then you're in Austria.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then I always like still keep traveling, and one time I get back to Berlin again, and I make an appointment to get a tattoo, and then I get the stick and poke tattoo one. And then I find out like I want to try it. I always still like doing arts like illustration, anything related design, and then I get into it, and then my friends they all get a tattoo from me. So I just like right away practicing on the skins, like just doing it, and then one day, I think it was like at the New Year time, I feel like this year New Year goal. I'm gonna be a tattoo artist.
Wow. So, because you got that tattoo in Germany, you felt that it was, I think you said to me, it was very peaceful. You weren't, it wasn't the automated zzz, it was just very chill.
Yeah, I find it like so chilled, peaceful. I like it. Like I just lie there and it's not that painful as well. And yeah, and it's my favorite tattoo on myself.
Wow.
Because that's how I get into tattoo as well. But also like the drawing, it's just like at first I remember at that time I wanted to get an angel tattoo. So I asked the tattooer like, can I get an angel? And then he says like, oh no, sorry, I don't do any customized tattoos, but you can choose on my flash, like the drawing he already has. And then I feel like, oh, okay. Then I just like look through it and then choose something I like. So it was like very randomly. It's just because I like this artist, I follow him for a while. And then I randomly get a tattoo. But then the tattoo become my favorite one.
Wow. And the reason why you started becoming a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Right. So cool. And so basically you were not sure if you could be a tattoo artist though as your job until just recently, right?
No, at the time I feel like, at the time I already think that is my dream job because I can do it by myself and I can travel with tattoo this job and I'm my own boss. Right? Yeah.
Own boss, own boss, own boss. No one to answer to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's hard, right? Like being your own boss sounds good, but also you need to survive now, right? So you have to start using social media, you have to start marketing yourself. So how did that all develop?
I feel I'm very lucky. At first it's like hard. It's not like you get enough customers, but yeah, just like posting on the Instagram or like friends of friends. Yeah, or like I just find fun things to go or like the market. Just go to events and that expose yourself like a lot.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of great networking. Basically, you just kind of go. You like I think of an event you just did. You went shopping for perfume and you liked the girl who was running the shop, and you were like, "Hey, we should do an event here."
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, that was very random.
So
but
cool.
I love it.
Yeah, and like that's the real thing about being a self-employed person is if you don't love that, it's going to be very difficult to be your own boss, right? Because you're not going to have any work. You're not going to make any money. But I love it because you are loving the kind of networking and going to events and meeting new people just as much as you love doing the art and doing the tattooing, right?
Yeah, because I feel I can always do my own drawing, my own work. So it's my art, so I love it. I still like always gonna have patience in it. And then I also meet people, like sometimes the customer, like they come and then tell me some stories, like why they get this. And it's really like touching. Like you feel like they share this really private, personal. Sometimes it's a bit sad, pretty sad, but it's great. Like I just feel like so grateful that people trusting me to like make me give them this memory.
Yeah, and you said it so well right there of, you're really connecting with people and that bond, and you get to then do art with them. It's a really beautiful, pure exchange. And so I'm so happy that you found, because this is your passion now and it's your career. One question I have, because I do feel like you are so made for tattooing.
来宾一开始是使用手针刺青 handpoke， 那现在都是用机器。那John有提到他身上有几个刺青就是用手针的方式刺上去的。那其实差别就在于这是一个非常传统的刺青方法，它只用一根棍子、一根针，还有一些墨水 ink， 然后一针一针的刺出图案。那这是现在许多明星像是泫雅跟 Angelina Jolie 曾经用过的。那来宾会接触到手针是因为他第一次要刺的时候，他觉得手针比较没那么可怕，而且自己好像就可以做到了。来宾其实一直以来都知道自己在绘画 illustration 上比较有天分，但从来没有想过要当刺青师，因为他认为他家人不会支持他。那一开始是因为好玩，所以才开始帮朋友刺青，但后来发现他其实对刺青是有兴趣的。那其实也很喜欢认识不同的人，同时也因为他觉得身为老板的他可以决定自己出国的时间，他很喜欢这种感觉。那他认为这就是他梦想中的工作 dream job。 来宾高中的时候就知道自己想要读服装设计，但他觉得台湾的选择不多，所以他就找到了意大利的学校。那当时意大利也是知名的时尚圣地，所以他就选择去了。但后来他发现，其实时装设计师并不是他梦想中的工作，就是你得身为一个工作狂 workaholic 才可能比较喜欢。那最后来宾觉得，虽然他在绘画上面非常有天分，但可能在服装设计上就还好。那虽然他最后没有走这一行，但他不后悔选这门科系，因为他其实是喜欢漂亮的事物。那在意大利待了3年，但回台湾之后，他选择成为杂志以及精品店的平面设计师 graphic designer。其实来宾很喜欢欧洲，因为他特别喜欢柏林，所以他当时就在那边找了一份实习工作后就住了一阵子。但后来因为他姐姐要结婚，加上家里施压，所以他就找了一份工作后回台湾了。但因为他太向往出国，并且生活在自己舒适圈以外的地方，所以他就去了澳洲打工度假。来宾认为就是因为他在各个不同的国家工作过，所以才练就了他现在的英文程度。那他其实去澳洲的那一年也还在寻找自我。那后来回台湾之后，因为他真的很想要去柏林，所以就申请了签证，但很可惜没过。那他认为可能是因为柏林的打工度假是需要写年度计划，而他比较不擅长，所以就可能是他没有通过的原因。那结果最后来宾反而去了奥地利 Austria， 因为他们也是会说德文 German。那后来他去旅游的时候又再次去了柏林，而且还预约了刺青，也就是一开始提到的手针刺青。后来他就开始一边当平面设计师，一边在朋友身上练习着刺青。直到有一年跨年，他当时下定了决心要当刺青师。那来宾刚开始创业的时候，除了在社群上 po 文之外，也靠口碑以及参加各种市集跟聚会认识人。来宾表示，他很喜欢这份工作的其中一个原因，就是因为客人会跟他分享他们的故事，有一些是很感人 touching， 也有一些很私密甚至悲伤，但他都怀着非常感恩的心态，因为代表着客人是愿意让他刺出这个回忆 memory。 我们继续来听接下来的专访吧。
But how did you know that was really what you wanted to do? Because you told me, you're like, yeah, this is my dream job. But how did you know it was tattooing? How did you get that aha moment?
Because I did lots of jobs I didn't like. I've been through like a long time, like don't know what to do with my life. And then, yeah, when you do something and then you just know it.
Yes.
And then that's like, that's my dream job.
Wow, yeah, so beautifully. So because you tried so many different things, you knew you didn't like those things.
Yeah.
And when you finally did do something that sparked that creativity, you knew you could do this for a long time. Yeah. So advice out there to everyone is keep trying new things, right? Don't just settle. Try new things, see if you like it, because no matter what, you're learning right there. You're learning if you like it or you don't, and then you can keep going from there.
Yeah, even those jobs I didn't like, but I still
closer.
had good time with it.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
I'm still learning
yes.
different things, and that also helped me at my job now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about you're kind of doing sales now, you're doing marketing,
Yeah.
right? You're doing social media, all of those things you learned through your other
Yeah,
jobs.
it's all connected.
And it all connects. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so you learned all those beautiful things along the way, and now you can be your own boss. Now you can be self-employed.
Yeah.
Yes.
来宾因为曾经做过很多他不喜欢的工作，所以当他遇到他热爱的事物时，他就立刻知道这就是他梦想中的工作。所以 John 也会给大家的建议就是要不断的尝试新事物，别安于现状 settle。至少尝试过后，如果知道自己不喜欢，也会是一种学习成长的机会哦。那像来宾，其实他虽然不喜欢之前的工作，但他也从中学习到很多，像他现在需要懂的行销跟销售等等的技能，都是之前工作中学到的哦。我们继续来听接下来的专访吧。
Awesome. Well, do you mind if we switch gears a little bit? Because I know I kept asking you about all the places you live, but how did language play a part of this? So maybe let's start with English. Where did English play into Germany? Where did it play into Austria? Where did it play into Australia and Taiwan now?
Like before I go study abroad, so then I study Italian and English. I find my English always not that good, but just like you have to talk to people, like, and then just like it's the environment like push you, and then just like being not afraid, and then that helps a lot. Like just talk to people. That I don't know how much my English improved, but at least I can chat with people.
Would you say in Italy that you were using more Italian or more English?
Maybe more English. Like my Italian friends, they wanted to like practice their English as well. So they were like, we were chatting English.
It's so funny, yeah. Like a lot of my friends say the same thing. It's you go to these different countries, but then you all end up using English because they want to practice English. You want to maybe practice more English.
Yeah.
And maybe it's easier for them to try that too.
Yeah, a few months ago I was traveling in Spain, and I also like doing guest tattoo in a tattoo shop, and like the owner, she also like being so happy like talking with me in English. Like she also tell me literally like, I'm really practicing my English. I'm so happy to meet you.
So in Spain, at a tattoo shop,
and
she was so happy to practice English. I love
was
it.
thinking English is not my mother tongue. You're practicing that with me?
Yeah, like, do you want to practice Chinese with me? Yeah, it's so interesting. And it's so cute because that's the common thread that you have as such a toolkit. You know, you have German now, you have English, you have Chinese. You can use this all over the world to expose new customers to you, and you can tattoo more people because of that.
Yeah.
I love that. And you now in Taiwan, you'll tattoo foreigners as well, right?
Yeah, I think because I post like English on my social medias as well. So like sometimes like they travel to Taiwan and then they will contact me. Like I got like few foreigners, they are like, I asked them how they find me, and then they say, oh, they were like planning traveling to Taiwan, and then they also kind of planning to get a tattoo, and then they just found me, and so they contact me.
That's so cool. And that's all because of your language ability right there. That's so fun. Do you remember any tips and advice for any language? You know, like you said so beautifully, environment really helped you, but what else helped you maybe practice different languages?
Watching a movie, like I feel like really, like I still watch the subtitles, but then at the same time I also really hearing what they say, and then I will match that, oh, that words is that words. Like sometimes I will notice that and then learn a little bit like more like the daily talking phrase.
Yeah, subtitles is so cool to me because a lot of times I remember when I first moved to Taiwan, I would watch HBO on local TV, and so it would have Chinese subtitles. And I was so happy because as I'm hearing it in English, I'm reading the new Chinese characters that I just studied. And I'm like, oh, I know that sentence. And then you start to be like, I would maybe say that a different way. Like maybe that's not a good translation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wow, so cool. Awesome, Viola. Well, I love your story. I love how naturally you just found your calling and your passion, and I wish everyone listening can continue swimming to find what they love, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's a journey.
来宾在出国留学之前有学过意大利文跟英文，但他认为自己的英文不太好，只是他认为在英文的环境中，只要常开口练习说的话，其实帮助蛮大的哦。他虽然不知道自己的英文实际上进步了多少，但至少他可以跟别人聊天。那其实在意大利的时候，他反而比较常用到英文，因为他的意大利朋友们也想要练习英文。像他前阵子到西班牙的刺青店客座的时候，老板娘说他很高兴他能够跟他练到英文。来宾经营的社群上有打英文，所以他偶尔也会接到来台湾的外国客人。那他认为其实除了环境之外，看电影也是对学习语言非常有帮助的。像他会开字幕，然后一边听他们在说什么，也就会学到他们日常对话中会用到的词。那像 John 刚来台湾的时候，也是看 HBO 的中文字幕，甚至到后来他还会想说，如果是他翻译的话，或许还会用别的方式来表达。我们继续来听接下来的专访吧。
And the question I love to end with is, if you could go back and talk to a younger Viola while you were swimming, would there be any advice you give yourself about art, tattooing, finding your passion, anything?
Just always go for it, and maybe be more good at planning things.
Plan for the 1 year study abroad.
Yeah.
来宾会给年轻自己的建议就是直接做就对了，而且要学习规划，因为像他梦想中的留学很有可能就因此而成功呢。那其实像我以前也是算蛮冲的人，那后来开始渐渐的有越来越多的考量，不知道大家是不是也会这样呢？那其实有时候想一想，那些不顾一切然后往前冲的人，或许就是因为这个单纯的动机而成功了。所以你还在犹豫吗？我个人是觉得永远都不嫌晚哦。所以如果你还没行动的人，有想要做的事情，就赶快去尝试吧。那么就谢谢今天的来宾， Viola.
Awesome. Well, Viola, where can people find your art online? Where can they reach out to you maybe about any tattoo work?
So my IG is Poke the Bubble.
Poke the bubble. Boop. Pop. Poke the bubble on IG.
I actually asked friend because like they say poke the bubble doesn't make sense. Like the right way is pop the bubble. Is it?
Oh, like if you wanted to...
Like my imagination, like the bubble, poke the bubble.
Yeah.
That's how I make my name because I find it cute.
Yeah.
Or like poke the bubble, like the pink bubble. It's like a beautiful imagination things, and then poke it. It's like it's break. Like
oh yes, okay, yeah. Poke the bubble. We would say pop the bubble.
Yeah.
But that's cute because it's now even more unique for you. That it's just poke the bubble because it's for poke. It's for you stick and poke tattoos.
That's why it makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, but you poking the bubble doesn't mean it would break. If you wanted it to break, you would say pop the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But poke the bubble, it's like more visualizing.
Yeah,
no?
yeah. I'm picturing you poking it, and it's like, and but it's not breaking. It's just, you know. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, you can find her at Poke the Bubble on IG. Awesome work. Find her all around Taiwan. You can reach out to her in Chinese and English and German. And maybe some Italian, all sorts of different languages. Super cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the NG Ingwen show. Please follow along with Viola at Poke the Bubble on IG or myself, John Drummond 89. All right, everyone. We'll talk to you next time. Peace. All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7 and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.